I am back home, as you can see, which means I have public access to a television and Wi-Fi that actually works. So that means that you'll be getting your reviews very early instead of late like usual, which I apologize for, but as I explained in the Game of Thrones episode 5 review, I just got it done with finals week, with packing, with moving out, with finishing up essays and assignments. So it's been very hectic, and that's why last week was kind of like, oh my god, why isn't she doing anything? I wasn't ignoring you or being lazy. I just had a lot of work to do in the real world. So this is a review of episode 5 of The Legend of Korra, The Spirit of Competition, and I gotta say, this episode was on that Vampire Diaries shit, because it was all love triangle-y and the brothers fighting over the girl. It was hilarious. This is certainly the Cave of Two Lovers, except it'd be like 4 in this case, episode for this season, but I have to say that in the end, I really enjoyed this episode because even though it's very romance and ship heavy, and usually that kind of bothers me, all of it, to me, helped develop these 3 characters, Mako, Bolin, and Korra. The episode starts off with them all practicing in the gym, and everything's going good. It's very copacetic. You can tell they all work well together, that they all are like bros and whatever. So it's really good to see that they have that kind of camaraderie. Of course, in comes Asami, being super suspicious with her whole hello sweetie, good morning sweetie river song shit. That girl is evil and she got tricks. I know this, and it excites me because she's super hot, and I hope that she's a hot badass. And her and Mako give Eskimo kisses. Okay. And Korra is obviously very jealous about the situation. She's very much into Mako, even though she's like, no. And Bolin is into Korra, and he is trying to, flirt with her and talk with her, but Korra's not really on that level when it comes to him. Later that night, you see Bolin and Mako talking about Korra and if she's girlfriend material. And Mako's like, yeah, Korra's great. I like her, but I think I want to be with Asami instead. And it's so funny that he's like thinking like, I could have them both. But I'm just going to have one. And Bolin's like, I'm talking about for me, bro. And he talks about how he likes Korra, how she's so great. And that's me. Bolin is just so adorable. I love him. He's sweet. And Mako tells Bolin not to date Korra because they're on a team, it could mess up everything. But Bolin's just kind of like, dude, you were just about to go out with her too until you found Asami, so I'm gonna go after what's mine. And then at the temple where Korra stays, she's hanging out with Tenzin's amazing children, and they're telling her about how to proclaim her love to Mako. But their ideas are all like, oh, you take a dragon and then you fly into a volcano and you go to the sky and you eat clouds. All very cute, but all not really that practical. And then Tenzin's wife comes in and she tells them about how when she was young and she met Tenzin was interested in some other girl and she was really shy and didn't want to talk to Tenzin about it. And then after a while of seeing her soulmate, as she puts it, with a relationship with some other person, she just told him how he felt. She told him how she felt, and then they got together. And on a side note, I mentioned this on my Tumblr review, but I hate stories like this because it's kind of like, okay, he was interested in somebody else. That shouldn't matter to you. If that's the person he's dating, why do you think it's your right to just come and just push him through? I mean, it's great now because you know that they're soulmates and they got together and it's okay. But just kind of like, I hate the stories of like, yeah, he was dating somebody else, but she wasn't good enough for him, but I totally was, so I totally took what was mine. Okay. But, Korra and the girls all like the story, and Korra decides that she's going to tell Mako how she feels. And then the next day they have this big match, and they take over easily. Everything is working great. They show that same kind of camaraderie from the gym scene earlier, and so they win their first match hands down. And after the match, Korra goes to Mako and completely blurts out her feelings in an extreme case of word vomit. And it's so adorable to me, because that's what I mean about this episode developing the characters. Korra's always so confident and smooth, but these last 2 episodes have shown like her fears and her insecurities when it comes to things outside of bending and that kind of thing. And that reminds me of Azula and how when she was around boys and things, she's kind of like, I don't know what to say to them. I just know how to kick their asses. And so she talks to Mako, and Mako is like, I'm not really into you in that kind of way. Then Asabi comes in and they go together, and Korra's sad, and she goes over to the corner, and then Bolin comes in because he said he was going to make his move today, and so he asks Korra out, and he tells her how she's amazing and all these great things, and how she's beautiful and he's gorgeous, and it's perfect. I love Bolin. He's just such a fun character, and he is like Sokka, but he isn't. Like, he has this kind of personality about him that is similar to Sokka, but he, to me, is, like, not the same when it comes down to the core of it. Like, I love Bolin. He's great. And so Korra gets flattered by all the compliments and stuff. You know, like, you know, we can have a good time together. Let's go out. So they go out together. Of course, Mako now is the one with the jelly face, and he's kind of like, what? And Bolin and Korra go on a date to this Water Tribe restaurant, and they're eating, and all of a sudden, I swear, this guy is designed off of every creepy anime character, like Jin from Bleach. Oh my god, I was dying when I saw him. I believe his name is Tano. Oh, I wrote it down. Excuse me. His name is, yeah, Tano, and he comes in like, oh, you know, I'm the best, and I could totally teach you how to bend, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, boner. And then Korra's just kind of like, I ain't scared of you. I can't hit you because I'm going to get disqualified, but I got Naga, polar bear dog, totally going to eat your ass. So then Naga comes in and just kind of like roars in his face and ruins all his pretend wannabe villain swag, and he walks away with his tea. Bolin and Korra continue to just have this fun date. They have this little burping competition scene that's completely adorable as well. And it really shows, like, how well they work together. And, like, it's strange because even though they work so well together, I still see them mainly as friends because that's a friendly thing to do. But I still think they're cute, and I love Bolin. I just love this episode because it shows so much of Bolin and who he is. And they go to, like, the Avatar version of the Eiffel Tower, and they're eating, and then, like, Korra's looking down, and Bolin's kind of like, oh, she's so cool, I love her. I'm just like, oh, Bolin. And after that, we see Mako's at the, downstairs at the foot of the tower, and he sees Korra, and he's kind of like, why are you messing with my brother? You totally are doing this to get back at me because I'm conceited. And Korra's like, I'm not, I really like Bolin. And she's kind of like, you do like me. You trying to play games. Play please. And they kind of have a little spat, and then they both leave. And during the second match, Korra and Mako are kind of out of it, but Bolin totally takes the cake, and he starts beating off people. And when the tiebreaker happens, he's the one who performs and beats the other guy, and he takes control in this scene, and it really shows how, you know, even though he's the comic relief, he still is a very formidable bender and a very formidable teammate. So I thought that was really cool to see him really shine, because we know Mako's awesome, and we know Korra's awesome, but we had to see, like, Bolin be hardcore. And then Mako and Korra meet again outside the outside on this balcony, and after a little bit of back and forth, they kiss. Well, Korra kisses Mako, and Mako kisses her back, and Bolin comes and he sees it, and he just starts crying and running away, and it was so adorable. I mean, like, I know people are gonna be like, oh my god, he's a pansy. They need to shut the fuck up, because Bolin is amazing. He just has emotions, and he's so cute, and he's so sweet. Like, how do you not like that? I mean, to have an earthbender who's supposed to be like, oh, I'm tough and badass, but he really is, you know, he's sensitive and he's sweet, and then he gets high on noodles because he's so sad and depressed, and Mako picks him up and brings him home. And I like the sense of, like, the brotherly affection between the two of them despite this whole ordeal. And then we go to the third match, and they're getting their asses kicked because they are so not gelling together as a team. Everyone's going their own way, and Korra's like, you know, let's still try to work together, but they're kind of like, whatever, I don't care. And then Bolin and Mako get kicked out of the arena during the kind of final melee round, and when they're getting raised out of the crane, they're talking, and Mako is like, we're brothers, we're gonna get through this. And I thought this scene was really important because, like, I compared it to the Vampire Diaries. There's also this underlying kind of thing of like, oh, I hate you because you like the same girl. I don't care that we're brothers. But there really is a strong sense of brotherhood between Mako and Bolin. And I love that kind of aspect of the relationship, that no matter what's going on, they're going to be brothers and they're not going to let anyone get in the way of that. And then Korra comes, completely destroys the other team, an amazing feat of just bending, how she kind of lines them up and just knocks them down. That was awesome. And then when the episode kind of is taking to a close, they go back and, you know, she's like, can we all still be friends no matter what? And they're like, yeah, cool. She shows that she can, like, heal Ben because Bolin gets hit with one of the earthbending discus right in the shoulder, and she heals him using her water-bending healing abilities that she learned from Katara, of course. And then, well, Korra's also nice to Asami a little bit, saying thank you because of your money, we're in the competition. But then, Tano comes back, and he's all like, oh, the guys are losers. He's a little hipster dude, I hate him. And he comes in with his team, and they completely destroy the, his opponents through a knockout in like less than like 5 minutes, and they're all like, how the hell did this happen so quickly? And we don't even see the match ourselves, so we're only left to imagine what it's going to be like when they actually fight, you know, Korra and their team. Yeah. This episode was really great in terms of developing all the characters, really seeing who they were as people and how they would react to this whole relationship aspect of everything going on. I think it's really interesting and cute to kind of see this whole thing. At the same time, the love triangle aspect is so corny and like overplayed that I'm just kind of like, even though as well written as it is, I'm just kind of sick of love triangles in general, especially between people who are like friends and brothers. Like it just kind of like, it's kind of played out for me, so I don't really enjoy it on that level. But I do like the fact that they have it in perspective, which is unrealistic at the same time, but I prefer that to angst. This was a good episode. I don't think it was as good as last week's, but I think it was still fun. It's very Cave of Two Lovers, except it's not as obnoxious to me as that episode was, because it's like, you know that Korra is going to be, I mean, you knew that Katara was going to be with Aang. You don't really know who Korra's going to be with, and at the same time, like the whole thing with Katara and Aang, still don't really care that much. It's not the real focus of the series, so it's kind of like, it's a nice little filler, but important filler episode.